Talking about translations, this should go a lot quicker than reflections the other day, because translations, right, that's just moving something, right? It can move in the y direction and it can move in the x direction. And so points on our coordinate plane can move by a translation vector, what we call it. Right? Remember how we wrote our vectors? We wrote them in component form. So if I put like a 2, that means it went 2 to the right. And if I put a -4, that meant it went down 4 units. So that's basically all we're doing today. It's pretty straightforward. So for example, if I had point A and I wanted to move it by a vector, if I wanted to move it by this vector k, I would move it by the distance that the vector is and the direction. So A would move at the same distance in the direction of that vector, and it'd become A prime. So it moves a certain amount into the right and then a certain amount up in this case. Right, it's going to move in X direction and the Y direction. Pretty straightforward. So I might have you trace an image and then use yourself a translation vector to draw the new point. So basically I'm just going to take this vector and I'm going to put it at the edge of each point. So for example, let's do H. I'm going to move H by this translation vector W. So H becomes H prime. Right over here. Right? It's the same direction as the vector in the same distance as the vector. So I go to G, put it at the edge of G. There would be G prime. We go to I. That would make I prime. So same direction, same distance each time using that vector. J becomes J prime. And we just connect our dots, and there's our translation in that direction and distance. Okay, not too bad. Just do your best. It won't be perfect, right, because you're kind of doing it freehand. Do the best you can. Maybe you use a ruler to help you out. Measure that distance of the vector with your ruler. In the coordinate plane, this is nice and easy. All you got to do is use the component form of the vector. So it's just going to move A units in the X direction and B units in the Y direction. And if I look at this example, here was point P, -3 or -2, 3, and it moved by the vector 7, 4. So basically a +7 in the X direction and a +4 in the Y direction. So it's 7 units to the right and 4 units up. So basically I could just add that 7 to my X and add that 4 to my Y to get my new point at P prime. Okay, or I could have just counted, right? I could have said, started at my original and counted over 7 units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And then up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, however you want to do it. Both ways works. We'll look at it both ways here. So graph the figure and its image along the given vector. So triangle TUV at vertices -1, -4. -1, -4. So there's T. U is at 6, 2. So 2, 4, 6, 2. And V is at 5, -5. So here's my triangle. And it looks like I'm moving it at the vector -3, 2. So that means in the X direction, I'm going left because it's negative. So I'm going left 3. And in the Y direction, I'm going positive. So that means up, up 2. So I can just do each point. So let me try. Let me go to U. I can start at U. I can go left 3, 1, 2, 3, and then up 2, 1, 2. There would be U prime. I could also do it mathematically. I could take T, which is at -1, -4. And to get T prime, what would I do? I would subtract 3, or add a -3 to the X, and I would add 2 to the Y. So T prime would be at, well, -4 and -2. When I do -1 minus 3 and -4 plus 2, so -4, -2, right there. And I could have done the same thing. I could have counted left 3 from T, 1, 2, 3, and up 2 for T prime. Either way, whichever you like easier. And for V, I'm going left 3, 1, 2, 3, up 2, 1, 2. I kind of like the count, and it seems like it goes quicker for me. For V prime, boom, 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 connect your dots, and you're done. Just make sure you label things correctly when you do your new image. Put the prime, so T prime, U prime, V prime, and there you go. So that translated -3 units left, or -3 units in the X direction and 2 units in the Y direction. And really that's all there is to this. Okay, could be done by the vector with the actual vector, or it could be done with it in component form.